If you're on the hunt for actionable insights on escaping the corporate grind, embracing entrepreneurship, and building financial freedom, then you've found your guide. Welcome to the Deep Dive with Drake, where the success stories of real entrepreneurs unfold. Join host Drake Abshire as he delves into creating a multifaceted entrepreneurial career, inspired by his impactful Southern heritage. The stage is set. Let's embark on this journey with Drake.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another special episode of the Deep Dive with Drake. Today, I want to tell you guys, I'm diving into an extraordinary journey of a true powerhouse in the real estate industry. Our guest today is none other than Krista Mashore. She is a top-selling real estate coach. She is a top-selling author, renowned in her field of interest in what she does. She's a content creator, all-around amazing person. Been very inspiring and also a coach to me. And so I really want to dig into Krista's story today and for you guys to get to know her a bit better. But Krista, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Drake. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. So just in case the listeners, if they're not familiar with you or haven't heard of you just yet, give them just a little background on who you are and what you do.
Yeah, I was a top 1% real estate agent for 19 years. I sold over 2,300 homes. And 6 years ago, I left the real estate industry. Quite frankly, at my peak, I had sold 154 homes the year prior as a solo agent and went into coaching real estate agents and lenders. And then about a year and a half ago or so, I also coach entrepreneurs, experts, professionals, and coaches. I teach them how to develop their own coaching program and high ticket offers. So yeah, I focus with entrepreneurial people and real estate agents and lenders.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I will speak for you. I did coach with Krista for a year. And I have to say, she taught me some incredible things that I know no other coach had ever taught me before. And it's still things that I have implemented into my business and that I have shared with other agents and other people. And they are blown away when they hear those things from me. And I can't take credit for it because Krista was the one who taught me a lot of those things. But Krista, just so they can know a bit more about you and everything. So take us back to the beginning of your journey. Share with us what made you first enter the real estate industry, and then how did it slowly turn to you becoming more of a coach?
So maybe if you're okay with that, I can start back even further. Because I think a lot of times people see successful people and they think that they've always had it very easy. And I know you like to go deep because it's called the Deep Dive with Drake. So I got to make sure I live up to that. But people that know me know my story. I haven't lived at home since I was 13. I ended up running away from home due to some family issues and ended up in juvenile hall. And then from juvenile hall, I got sent to a group home for troubled girls and was there for a year. And then I ended up going to a foster home. So I haven't lived at home since I was 13. And luckily, I made the right choices in high school and when I was in my foster home, and I met some really, really great friends that helped me, go on the right path, so to speak. And then I ended up putting myself through college, getting student loans, figuring it out, working full time during the day, going to school at night. And I eventually met my first husband and my only ex-husband, hopefully. No, just kidding. I'll be married forever to my husband now. But and he ended up having an affair. I had just gotten into real estate. My daughter got sick. And so I decided to be a stay-at-home mom and sort of play real estate because I was a teacher before that. And really quickly, after her getting sick, I decided to stay home to take care of her, make sure she could meet all of her milestones. And then we had just bought in a brand new house, quit my job to, like I said, to stay at home, play real estate so I could be a stay-at-home mom. And I had found out that my husband at the time was having an affair and, very quickly drained bank accounts, no money, brand new house payment and a house, no real job. And so I dove into real estate and, did extremely well my first year. I sold 69 homes. People ask why. I'm like, I have no idea how I did that because my why was because of the kids. I wanted to keep them safe and secure in the house, but I didn't know, asking me how, and it was just like survival beast mode, if that makes sense. And then I was a top 1% agent, like I said, for 19 years and then left the industry 6 years ago. I still dabble in it. So meaning I think last year my team sold about 20 houses. Because I want to know just enough to be able to still have my pulse on it. So what I'm teaching is very current and relevant. And I've been teaching real estate agents. We've helped thousands of agents now, either through our challenges or our virtual events or students like you. And on top of that, I have a EXP. I'm with EXP and I have about 860 agents underneath me with EXP.
Oh,
And yeah, things are good.
yeah. No, that's great. That's beautiful. You're literally living the real estate dream that most people are looking to achieve nowadays. But so let's
I don't
talk a
know
little.
about that. Like, let's back it up right there because real estate is difficult. In fact, I didn't realize how hard I was working as a real estate agent because I didn't really work. I didn't work weekends. I would not work weekends, and people would change their schedule around for me. And I would stop working. My last appointment would be around 4:30 at the latest. So my goal was to try to be home by 5:30, 6 at the latest. But I was constantly on the phone. And I was a solo agent with a transaction coordinator and an assistant. We averaged 134 homes a year, 17 years, 19 years in a row. And you just don't realize when you're doing that how much you actually are working, even though you're not working at night and the weekends. It was a lot. So I tell people, no one needs to sell that many houses. I mean, nowadays with the prices of homes, you could sell 50 homes a year and have a much more normal type of a life and just do incredibly well. You could sell one home a month in some areas or two homes a month and live better than most doctors or financial advisors. I don't recommend doing what I did because it was a lot, I mean, it wasn't like it was a team. It was me. And I went to all the inspections, all the disclosures, reviewed all the documents, reviewed all the offers, like went to every closing. I mean, I was that agent, so I wouldn't recommend that for most people. It's a lot.
Well, hats off to you because I'll say there are some real estate coaches, no names, but that really haven't been in the trenches, right? Like you
Or they've
have.
never sold a house before. That's most of them. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I do think that's really important. And that really does breathe, I think, through your coaching program and everything that you do, because there's so many little touches and little things in there that I've never thought about before or that I've never implemented in my business. And it makes such a big difference. And there's a reason why clients would go, oh my God, no one's ever done this before. And I'm like, well, duh, because, I'm being taught by someone who is a master at it, right? And it makes all of the difference.
You're so sweet, by the way. I mean, one thing I just really appreciate you just for taking notice and how hard we work to help agents across the country. I really appreciate you noticing that. And we do, like, we really, that was one of the reasons why people will always ask me, how did you do so well all the time? And I always, and would be advice to anybody. And I'll give you some really examples that are going to age me. And that is this. It's like when I first got into real estate, I remember I had to make it work. My husband had left, my daughter was sick. I didn't have a choice. It was like either do or die. It was either do this or I was going to have to go get a job, I don't even know. Or I go back to teaching, which I just didn't make enough money as a teacher. And so I looked outside of the real estate industry and like, what are they doing outside of real estate? And how can I apply it in real estate? That was one of the things that I did. And like, I'll give you an example. I realized that these big companies were marketers. So really early on, I realized how important it was for me to be a marketer. I know it's very important who I know, but what's even more important is who knows me. So I paid for attention. I paid for exposure. Exposure is currency. That's the reason why people pay, $7 million at the Super Bowl to advertise for 30 seconds, just for the actual 30-second spot, not to even include what it costs to do the commercial, right? Big brands like Google and, Pringles and all these brands that we know, like, why would they do that? Because they know how important it is to continue to capture attention and to stay top of mind. I remember I've advertised at the movie theaters. I got a commercial and I had the commercial play at the movie theaters. And then I advertised on Comcast, our local TV, and got a commercial on there. And then I put myself on the buses. And then, I remember, and this is even a smaller thing, but it's important. Like back when people used to do black and white flyers, I would do 4-page colored brochures. I would get like a CD and I'd put a sticker on the CD with my information. I'd put like 50 pictures on that CD and I'd stick the CD in the flyer box. And the CDs had their own little individual flyers. So I was always doing like, how can I be different and unique? And that's something that in every stage of my career that I've been able to do by studying the market, looking at my competitors, seeing what are they doing well? How can I do it better? Where are there areas of opportunities that they're missing that I can then take over to stand out very easily? And that's how I've been able to remain a top 1% agent, no matter what the market. It's actually like top 0.0001%, no matter what the market was doing,
Yeah. Yeah. And you actually answered my next question talking about what were the key strategies and principles and things. But for those Gen Z listeners,
other agents, Drake, like anyone listening, no matter what business that you're in, this is really important for you to understand. That is how, like, I believe that differentiation and innovation. So marketing and exposure, along with innovation and differentiation, is the key to every business. You have to have marketing. You have to have differentiation. And realtors and most business owners and most entrepreneurs, professionals, are not taught this. They're not taught. They're taught like how many square feet are in a mile, or things that nobody cares or will ever use. But they're not taught how to be a marketer. They're not taught how to run a business. They're not taught how to get more attention and how to differentiate themselves. We're still teaching people the same thing that we learned, 70 years ago, 100 years ago, 40 years ago. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if you can really focus on that and give it the time and attention it takes, it does take time. It's amazing what you can do, especially in real estate. Everyone says it's so competitive, but in my opinion, because it is so competitive, it's never been easier to stand out.
Right. No, it's true. If you just apply even, I would say just 25% of the things that I think you teach, it would put you ahead of the crowd by far. And I see that more and more in this business. And the more that I've seen, other mentees and other agents that I've worked with over the years too, just so many people, they fill their minds with this education, but nobody's really executing. That's always what I'm telling people. You have plenty of education. Where's the execution? Like actually go out and do these things and apply them. What would you say has really been a key for you to actually continue having success, right? Because you've tried different things. You're not just a real estate agent. You've tried all these different things and you're finding success with them. What do you think has been that secret sauce for you?
Well, first of all, there's most of the things I fail at first for a long time. Like right now, I'll give you an example. Like I've been launching this new business helping entrepreneurs, and it's called the $1 Million a Month model, where we've averaged $1.3 million a month in gross, definitely not revenue, but in gross sales in my coaching company for the past 41 months in a row. I think the past couple of months, like we were trajectory of even higher, but real estate obviously is taking a big hit. So I was getting asked from people, how can you teach me how to do what you're doing in the coaching space? So I started helping other individuals at like a 50-50 split, realized I could help them, and then decided, okay, all by referral, because I was speaking on stages that like Russell Brunson's had me speak, and Jason Fladlin and Ryan Dice and all these big names had me speak at their masterminds, and then organically grew. But it was easier to help those people because they were already entrepreneurial and they already understood investing in themselves and that kind of thing, right? But then once I knew it worked and I launched on my own, it has been hard. I mean, like for example, last month I think we spent 80,000 and we made 50. Right now, you might think that's terrible, but it's a new business and it's a new launch. Now, most people are going to be like, "Well, I don't have that kind of money." Well, you have, and I look at that as an investment. I know that I have to invest. I have to fail until I got to fail to figure it out. Basically, in fact, I should do that tagline: "Fail to figure." You got to figure it. You got to fail to figure it out, right? Yeah. You're going to figure it out. You're going to fail. I mean, it's just how it is. And I think people are afraid of that. And, it's like when I went to college, I got student loans. I made it happen. I took out debt to increase my knowledge and my skill level to be able to make more later and to be able to have more of a competitive advantage. Right. And I think that the secret sauce is number one, investing in the knowledge, hiring the right people. Like, me, I spent just under $1.6 million in the past 6 years hiring the best coaches and experts and consultants to learn what they did well, to not make the mistakes that they made, like to collapse timeframes and to get the support, and the knowledge to be able to do this. And that has been my secret sauce. It has honestly been investing in my own earning power, investing in my own knowledge, and hiring the right people to help me. With that being said, be careful who you hire, because there's a lot of phonies out there. I spent a lot of bad money, but you got to be really careful who you hire now. People are like, kind of like what you said earlier. There's all these coaches that have never done the thing. It's like, what's that saying? For those that can't do, then teach. Like, be careful of that, because there's a lot of false that out there,
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I hear you. And I love that you're being so honest about like the cost versus like what you're getting out of it, because I think a lot of people think people just hit this idea and they just run with it and they make tons of money and it blows up. But I love the fact that you're being so honest about the fact sometimes it's a slow trickle. It's a big investment in the get-go. Sometimes it pays off and sometimes it doesn't. And that's just the reality of business, and I'm so glad, someone who's had a ton of success is even still trying new things and doing new things and changing.
This is important. I just got this from my team today. Okay. Because again, we launched and we did well. Like we broke even, right? We were like charging $50,000 for the offer. It should have been $1 million for what we were giving, quite frankly. And then we realized we were attracting newbies. Okay, they were too new. So then we changed our offer again. And then we realized, oh my gosh, our messaging isn't matching what we're offering now. So now we're like literally going back to the drawing board again. And we've realized that we need to put these two programs together and we need to lower the price a little bit so we can reach more people. And so this is what my team said. This is one of my main people. Keep in mind, this is still just another experiment. It may not work. And if it doesn't work, we'll try something else. And then if that doesn't work, we'll try something else until it works. I think it's important for us all to keep that in mind, because if we go into this with it's going to work, we're going to hit it out of the park, and it doesn't work, then we lose focus and we lose motivation, right? We should always go into it with this mindset of this is our next experiment, and we're going to figure it out until we make it, right? And that's how it's been. I mean, and most people, thanks, honey, most people are not like, they want all the success, and they want, like you said it. You said they don't implement, right? They don't execute. And that is true. Like, everybody wants all the money and the glory and the fame, but they're not willing to spend the money, the trial, the error, the mistakes, and the effort that it takes. And as soon as it gets hard, they say, oh, screw it. I mean, it has been a hard year. Like 2021 and 2022 in my coaching business, I mean, I was averaging $1 million a month in profit, like not in gross commissions, in profit in my coaching company.
Wow.
Ish. And I might be wrong here or there, but I was averaging that. I just, on the way here from the dentist, got off the phone with my assistant. And in one of my companies, we made $170,000 profit. And the other one I made around, it's like with EXP around was like 49,000. So 250,000. That's a lot different than $1 million. Now, mind you, I still have this huge overhead and expense, right? Like, I think my expenses this month were close to $680,000 this month. Like, it's because I invested in some heavy advertising budget. I invested in a couple coaches, and even though right now you would think is the worst time for me ever to be investing in coaching, investing in advertising, I know I need more opportunities. I need more exposure. I need more skill set. So I'm investing more now at lower profits than I was when I was doing really well. So it's like, you have to have that mindset. And there's times I want to say, F this. Like, literally, I was telling my husband, why am I doing this? I'm like, this is so stressful. I could just literally quit right now and be rolling in 50K a month with EXP, and I'd be fine. Like, and he's like, well, you do love teaching. I'm like, okay, thank you for the reminder, because that is why. You know, it doesn't always look so good. And I think a lot of people don't tell you that. Like, for me to make my first $1 million funnel, like, you know what those are right there, right? Like, we are really good at funnels. Like, we've done, $11 million funnels. We've done like close to $60 million in funnels. And my first funnel, I swear to God, to make $1 million, it cost me $1.2 million. Like, nobody ever tells you that. And I know that's not always like that, but I will tell you, in most cases, unless you're one of those very fortunate people, it is expensive to run a business and to sustain it and to get to the point where you're like, okay, right? And most people aren't willing to put that in there and take the risk. And that's why most people are entrepreneurs, right? It's a hard thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So talking about obstacles and like hardships and things like that, do you think you had a specific challenge or maybe a pivotal moment that was like an aha for you in your business and like the way that you approach things?
Yeah. So one of the things that we've done, and this is why we did so well. So in 2020, we launched a new business model, and that was, we would do virtual events, and we would sell high ticket coaching on virtual events. And I did it 18 months in a row. I did a live event. And each time I would do the event, I would change one thing, maybe two, but I would try to only change one thing so I could test it and see if that was a good change or a positive change. Now, sometimes the changes were really good. One month, I lost over $900,000 from one change. And that change was this. It was direct the people to book a call. To a link to pay instead of booking a call and being able to talk to somebody. I'd gotten advice from a coach, and it just didn't work. And then I tried it again and lost several $100,000. But my point is that was a bad one, right? But we had almost a $4 million month, 1 month, $4 million in 1 month, right? And like 3 million of that was profit, probably more than 3 million. It was a great month, but because of the fact that I was willing to take the risks and test and tweak and optimize. How can I make this better? How can I if you think about the areas of your business, and this is another thing people should really hear, is that if you can increase like how you get leads, like more leads coming in by 3 to 5%, right? And then you can increase your conversions by 3 to 5%. And then you can increase your nurturing by 3 to 5%. And then you can increase like your top of mind, refer, retain, resell by 3 to 5%. Well, that's a 25% increase in business. And so to think that you can increase one thing by 25% is probably not really going to happen. But if you focus on the different areas of generating leads, converting leads, nurturing leads, having a better customer experience, so you get more referrals, staying more top of mind after, all these little areas and aspects of these little buckets of your business, that is when you see massive increases. And most people, especially in real estate, no offense, real estate agents, I love you, I was you, I still am you, but they're not taught that. They're taught, do an open house, cold call, door knock, do brokers tour. They're not taught how to run a business and how to develop systems and focus on those types of things. And then you do that year after year, right? You 3 to 5% a year in each one of these little buckets, your business can go up 100% in a few years. And you'll get better as you go. Now you're like, well, Krista, you just got done saying how your business has been shitty the past, the past couple months. And I'm like, well, the reason being is the market has really shifted, right? The market, like my main client is real estate agents. Interest rates and inventory, they're not the average agent, unlike my students. The average agent is not selling as many houses. They're not closing as many deals because they're not getting more exposure and attention. So obviously my pull has gone down, which means it's even more important that I focus on these little buckets or I would be out of business, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So
awesome. Well, I think a lot of people always appreciate knowing that everybody else feels the same pains that they feel too. And I know you've already touched on that, but has there been like a difficult client, or you would say a transaction, or maybe an employee, or that's really turned into a learning experience for you?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. So many. When COVID hit, I had my director of marketing and my human resource director, who's supposed to protect me from this kind of thing, quit to go start a business together. And then at the same time, I had to fire my entire sales team because I was paying them so much. It was like they were making more than me, like not really, but close to it. And it was like my whole business went at a halt. And it was like, what the heck is happening? Those kind of things happen all the time. I also educate my people so much, and I want to see them do well. And I inspire and encourage them as I do everyone else. So like I just yesterday got news from my main marketing person that she's leaving, right? She's like, I love you. You've been amazing. You've taught me so much. Thank you. And now it's like, oh my gosh, when my company is down and profits are down and sales are down, I have my head marketer leaving. So it's just constant. And it's just honestly, a lot of it is a huge mindset shift. And I know, for me, mindset, I have had to make a huge, there was physical abuse when I was younger. And so even though I'm so close with my abuser now, very helpful in my recovery, quite frankly, but the mindset has been huge for me, and especially in real estate. Like there's so much negative news out there. There's so much negativity from other agents. You have got to control what you're thinking. I teach the stop, snap, and switch method. In fact, go get my book, Stop, Snap, and Switch. Train your brain to unleash your limitless life. And also, Drake, I have a new book coming out called Top Producer Secrets. It is awesome. It's probably my best book. It's actually like 15 of some of the top producing agents in my coaching program saying exactly what they're doing to sell hundreds of homes. So
I love that.
Everyone should take a look out for that. But you have to keep your mind right. And, for me, it's like, I tell myself right now, your big things are happening to you, Krista, because you're going through so much adversity. It is so hard. The bad wolf in the universe is trying to hold you back because you're meant to make this huge impact. And it's been hard the past 24 hours to have that conversation because I'm like, but I have to constantly work at it just like agents do. Like we have to constantly work at what we're saying to ourselves, what we're thinking about, what we're focusing on. Because if you're focusing on there's no inventory, the recession, limited inventory, the interest rates, oh my God, the sky is falling, you are going to get that. You have to understand there's opportunity right now. Agents are leaving the business. You just need to learn to do things differently. You need to have more differentiation. You just need more market share. How do you get more market share? You learn to be a better marketer. Then you learn to differentiate yourself with what you're offering before you actually go on the appointment. Like all those things, it's there because it is so competitive and there's so many realtors. It's very simple to stand out because since it's so easy to enter real estate, most agents will never do what it takes to be successful. So if you just stick to it and put in the work and invest, quite frankly, in the knowledge and the resources and the skill set to differentiate yourself, you can absolutely take over market share.
Yeah, love that. I have a bit of a doozy for a question. So I love to ask everybody that's a guest on this one because I feel like it humanizes the person even more so. But what is your biggest fear?
I have kind of abandonment issues because of the physical abuse and leaving home since I was so young and not like being away from my family. I have abandonment issues. And although I know this will never happen, this is really, no one's asked me this. I've not told anyone this ever. This is true too.
I love this.
But since you're asking, it just came to mind. I think I worry because I really am massively in love with my husband. And even though he's the most loyal, loving, kind-hearted person and will be with me forever, a part of me is like, what if I'm not pretty enough? What if I'm not skinny enough? What if I'm not, what if he leaves me? What if he, sometimes I think there, and I hate even ever thinking that way because I don't, right? Kind of like I talk to people about scared money doesn't make money, right? You don't attract that when you think it, but I don't ever want to be without my husband. My biggest fear would be growing old without him. That was what I would tell you.
Yeah. Do you think that that's affected your business anyway?
No, if anything, like because of the adversity I've been through, I've been a real hustler, and because of me being in the group home and the foster home and all that kind of stuff, it's actually helped my business because my goal was to provide for my daughters. And then when my husband left me, it was like, now I really got to provide for them, right? I need to make sure that we're stable, we're safe. So I don't think it's done that. And even with that one fear, like, okay, at least enough something happens, I can always take care of myself. It's kind of a bad way to be, honestly. Like, it's like, I know I have to always count on myself, and so it's kind of helped my business.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's so honest and it's real. I love that. And another thing I wanted to ask, so let's set the business side of things apart, but like the things I think that are your core and that have truly helped you stay grounded. Would you say for you, has it been fitness, health, faith, family? What do you think has really kept you grounded in who you are as a person and helped you thrive in your business?
I would say people before things, and the things will always come. And that includes my family first, my marriage first, right? My client first, always before money or things. And I always put the people first. That's been core. I'm very much, I work out every day, 5 days a week. It's been important. And although I did have an eating disorder for a lot of years, which I've been able to overcome. Yeah. But even more so, that healthy eating is important because it messed up my system as far as like, I can gain weight by eating like salads and stuff because of it. So, but yes. And just like really, really, the family is a huge one. Like, I love my family. Without them, I do everything for them. And so that would be the main thing.
And I know they all work with you still, correct?
They all work for me. Like most of them. Yeah. My husband has his own business. My bonus son, who's not my biological son, but my husband's son, works with him. My one daughter works for me full time. The other daughter works for me, like 10 hours a week or whatever it might be. So yeah, we got a family business.
Awesome. Well, Krista, I've appreciated all this so much, but before we wrap it up, do you have any final thoughts? And then of course, I want you to tell everybody how they can connect with you and, any offers that you have for them as business owners or advice.
Yeah. So if you go to KristaMashore.com/Drake, which is your name, that's Krista with a K, Mashore, MASHORE.com/Drake. You can get invited to my 3-day event. If you are a real estate agent, it's a 3-day virtual event. We also have a virtual event for entrepreneurs, experts, consultants, professionals. So if you go look me up, you'll get targeted somehow or another. I'll be stalking you on Facebook because that's what you teach people how to do.
Okay, beautiful. And any final words or advice to anybody out there? Any messages that you feel like you didn't get out that you think speaks the most about you?
Don't give up. Like, just, believe in yourself. There's nothing special about successful people other than they just do the thing. And don't look at the outside of anybody else's life, because there's a reason why they should call it fake book and not Facebook, because most people they're not honest about things. And it's not like there's an overnight success, right? People always say, oh my God, you're overnight success in the coaching. I was like, I was a top 1% realtor for, 23 years I've been in the industry. Like, there's nothing overnight about anything. And I'm still struggling and still work hard. So just know that. And you just gotta really focus on what you're thinking about, because your thoughts truly do become things. And that is scientifically been proven that your thoughts create your reality. So just be careful, because those thoughts create feelings, and those feelings are going to make you either want to do something or not. So just be very cautious.
Yeah, absolutely. And my last question is a fun one that I like to ask everybody, but what are you listening to? What are you watching? And what are you reading right now?
Okay. So right now you can see right here, what I'm listening to is the home library. Winning from Tim Grover is, and then I don't really listen for fun. I have another book called Pitch Anything, but it sounds worse than it is. I'm always reading educational type of books. I don't watch a ton of TV. I do like to. I love binging on TV, and I like Outlander, and I love Vikings.
That's fine.
So that's that, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Krista. I can't tell you, I was honored to have you here. And again, your message, you were so real, and I appreciate that. And I know everyone is going to really resonate with the fact that, you've had your own struggles and you've still found your way. So we thank you so much. And again, guys, I'm going to have everything for how to connect with her in the description. So you'll be able to link up with her if you're interested in EXP, reach out to her and you can get free coaching that way as well. But thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you guys in the next episode.
Thank you for diving into the world of entrepreneurial grit, personal growth, and financial mastery. Drake is here to arm you with the necessary toolkit to cultivate, nurture, and realize your groundbreaking ideas. Keep journeying with us by tuning in to subsequent episodes at deepdivewithdrake.com. The path to a flourishing entrepreneurial life is within reach if you commandeer your professional voyage and steadfastly chase your ambitions. See you on the next highly engaging episode. Until next time.